Aloha, Lenuo, Kasele, Rananim, Moketin, Talofa, Bula, Ali, and Yokwe. Welcome to our Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture Talk Story. I am Shanti Asher, the Pacific Islander Outreach Specialist with the Office of Economic Revitalization at the City and County of Honolulu. Our online talk stories, as you all may be aware, is really aimed at improving the well-being of our neighbors from the Pacific Island communities by providing important resources and updates. Today's topic is great for our families and people wanting and looking forward to celebrating this historical Pacific Islander Culture and Arts Festival coming up in June. It is an overview of what FestPAC is, what delegations will be there, what kind of arts and culture they will be showcasing, and everything with regards to events and where venues are available for you to attend. FestPAC happens every 4 years, and this time around, it's been 7 years we've been waiting because of COVID. So we are truly lucky to have this celebration coming to our shores next month. The Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture is an important event that celebrates the culture of indigenous people from the Pacific Islands. It's the biggest of its kind worldwide, and it started in 1972 by the South Pacific Commission. FestPAC aims to preserve traditional practices by bringing people together to share their arts and culture. And so the 13th FestPAC will be held here in Oahu from June 6th to the 16th. And the theme for this event is Oho Ulu Lahui, Regenerating Oceania, which focuses on keeping Pacific Island traditions alive while also looking ahead to the future. FestPAC honors the very tradition it aims to protect with an emphasis on continuity and innovation. We are super fortunate to have our sister here with us today, Tolua. She is here to share with us the preparation and what we are all and have been waiting for. So she's going to break down the FestPAC, talk about countries that are coming, events, and out to attend. Aloha and talofa, Tolua. The floor is yours.
Aloha mai kako and talofa lava to Shanti. Mahalo so much for allowing us to come into this space and share a very kind of a broad overview about FestPAC, or the Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture. And I want to send a warm mahalo to our friends and family out there that are watching. And thank you again for just tuning in and being engaged as much as you have been. So I'm really excited to share just some information that I'm able to about the festival as we're preparing. June is coming up very quickly, so we are trying our best to get the information out there to our communities before our Pacific cousins, brothers and sisters and family arrive on our shores in June. So I'm going to just do a really overview of the festival. And then at the end, talk a little bit more about, as Shanti mentioned, how our communities here on the island of Oahu and across the state of Hawaii can engage in the festival, whether you're attending as a general public member, whether you're interested in volunteering. We have that information that I can share towards the end of at the end of our slideshow today. As Shanti shared, our theme for this very, very special Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture is Ho'oulu Lahui, Regenerating Oceania, an opportunity for us here in Hawaii to connect with our Pacific brothers and sisters and family coming to Hawaii in June. And it's a beautiful opportunity for those who have not had the privilege and opportunity to really engage in the cultures and arts and beauty of the Pacific, to really experience that here in Hawaii on our shores. Our festival director, who's been working very hard to assure that the festival is is really engaging with our communities across the state of Hawaii as much as possible with our delegates is Dr. Aaron J. Salah. And he apologizes for not being able to attend here, but is very much excited to greet and welcome you all during the festival. Next slide, please. Thank you. So these are the values that when we are focusing on putting the festival together and working together as a team, we're looking as Shanti shared in the beginning, the festival was really founded to really work on preserving tradition throughout the Pacific when it comes to culture and arts. And so in this festival, we continue that preservation and sharing what our culture and arts is and how we have been throughout the years. And so that is one value that we are working and want to make sure is demonstrated throughout the festival and that our different island nations are bringing to the festival. Exploration is looking really at the future of what our cultures could become, how we're moving forward as people of the ocean, and as we preserve as much as we would like to, there's also change as the future comes with different things happening. Also, different things happening around the world to our countries that are not really able for us to control, such as climate change. So as climate change affects a lot of our nations in the Pacific, that also means culture practices will change and may change. And so this festival, we hope to see there will be different demonstrations, whether through some of the symposia happening, some of these standalone structures that we'll have in the festival village will showcase some of that exploration as we look to the future. Awareness is really, again, that opportunity for those who have not had the opportunity and privilege to engage in the rich and diverse cultures of the Pacific. Having the Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture here in Hawaii is that opportunity for a lot of us, especially for diaspora communities who have not had the privilege and honor to go home and experience these rich, heritage culture, practices, are going to be able to experience that as much as we can here in Hawaii. Excellence is really sharing, again, just really instating the pride in the Pacific and where we come from, all of us, especially for those who have never, again, for diaspora, maybe who have not had the chance to go home and really experience what it's like growing up at home. We hope that the Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture helps to kind of reinvigorate that pride of where we all come from across the Pacific, as well as our connections to Hawaii. And then language, there'll be programs and demonstrations and performances and so many opportunities for us to really engage in the different languages from across the Pacific. So those are the values we hold tight and hold close to us as we plan and put together the festival. Next slide, please. And I apologize if you can hear any noise in the background. So again, we are very honored and proud that Hawaii, as Shanti shared earlier, that FestPAC is coming to Hawaii 7 years later as initially planned. And we're very honored that, as we've come out of COVID, this is a great opportunity to bring the festival back to our people, but also hosting it here in Hawaii is such a great opportunity to see each other again, gather again, and have this opportunity to celebrate our Pacific people. Again, official festival dates are from the 6th of June to the 16th. And we are looking forward to it very much. Next slide, please. So these are some of the pillars. So when you go on the website, which we'll talk about later in the presentation, these are the different pillars where you'll find the different activities happening. And there's so much happening across the island of Oahu. Some of the other islands are also participating. So we'll have delegations moving all across the state of Hawaii. And we're so very honored that most of the state has wanted to engage and participate in FestPAC in different ways. And so performing arts, this is really where You'll find your dancing, singing, oratorical theater, choir performances. And again, as we move throughout the presentation, there will be different venues. Well, all these will be happening, including at the Festival Village, which is at the Hawai'i Convention Center. But performing arts are happening at different venues across the island. And really, really excited to share more about that. Visual arts is where you'll have theater, film and our art displays. I'm sorry, those are happening, I think, largely at the Hawai'i Convention Center. So we'll have an art display at the Hawai'i Convention Center from nations across the Pacific that are bringing pieces specifically for this pillar. We'll have film and media also happening at Hawai'i Convention Center, where you'll see short films. I think for the most part, there may be some full feature-length films. I'm not exactly sure. Please don't quote me on that. But those will be happening at Hawai'i Convention Center. So we're excited to share that. Including the Festival Village, I would say, is part of the visual and performing arts part. Again, we'll have the hales up for each of our delegations. And again, I'll share this later in depth. And alongside the hales, we'll have different displays of, again, different ways in which we are currently engaging them in the Pacific. There's a big navigation display there. I don't want to give too much away because I'd love for people to come and see it and be really surprised, really just in awe of it when you see it in person. Heritage arts is really where we'll have a lot of the demonstrations. So the weaving, the carving, the tatau or tattooing, fashion, those are where there's a lot of things happening at different venues. Not everything is happening at the convention center. And again, we'll go in depth as we talk about that when we come to the venues. Ceremonies and protocols, these are special events that are happening that are very much pillars to the Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture: the opening ceremony, the closing ceremony, the ecumenical service, and the Va'a ceremony. So those are some of these very special events that are very particular to FestPAC that happen at every FestPAC that we're really excited to welcome and share with our communities. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is one of the programs that's going on in conjunction with regular festival programming going on. So there will be the Emerging Leaders and Youth Ambassador program that's happening alongside FestPAC. So there will be young leaders from across the Pacific who have been nominated by their countries who are coming alongside as part of the delegations from the Pacific who will be participating in this program in particular. And so they have their own program already structured, already happening. And so this is something that it's really more of just another official festival programming that's happening alongside official festival proper, whatever is happening across like performances. This program in particular is going on as well. There's also the Pacific Philosophers Conference. So all this you see here will be in detail on our website. I don't have dates and I don't have times. I apologize for this off the top of my head, but these are just some of the things that are also happening in conjunction with FestPAC at the Hawai'i Convention Center. So like the Pacific Philosophers Conference, there will be an expo and marketplace. So the expo is more for our local vendors, local-based, Hawaii-based vendors who will be sharing and selling products, arts and crafts there, some of their merchandise. The marketplace is really for our delegations that are coming from across the Pacific, where they'll have, the opportunity to share and showcase some of the pieces of art, whether it's whether it's like wearable art, whether it's art pieces that they've created and are creating there in the Festival Village. Those will be available for display and showcasing and for sale, from to my knowledge. Kamehameha Schools is also having different programmings going on, as you see below. And I don't have too much information about that, but these are just examples of other engagements happening alongside official festival proper. Next slide, please. So this is a very small slide, and I apologize, it's so tiny. When you visit our website, it's so much more, you'll see it in maybe a much better view for you versus this slide here, but it's really just to kind of show really how much is happening throughout the week. The orange is really our festival proper programming, which is like the heritage arts, the performing arts, visual arts. That is all happening across the entire festival every single day, starting Friday the 7th all the way up until Saturday the 15th. So there'll never be, I guess you would say, there'll never be an opportunity where you will not be able to catch something that's happening, that you won't be able to experience something that's happening, whether at the convention center, whether at the other venues, which I'll share. Like Bishop Museum is where our carvers and our tatau or tattoo artists will be stationed. And so that'll be happening all, from Friday the 7th to Saturday, the June 15th, with the specific dates here, like June 6th, will only be the opening ceremony at Stan Sheriff Center at UH Manoa. And that's an all-day affair. So that is not going to be, there'll be no official festival proper events happening until the 7th of June. The 7th of June is when the Festival Village officially opens at the Hawai'i Convention Center. That's where we kick off. All the arts are going to start at the convention center, whether it's the carving, whether it's the heritage arts, whether it's the performing and visual arts. That's when other programs or conferences or symposias will also be happening throughout the day. And then there'll also be fashion programming. And at the same time at Bishop Museum and the other venues that we'll be sharing later, we'll be having the other performances will be happening at the other venues. Bishop Museum will be open for our carvers and those interested in learning about the carving and tattooing. So that all starts officially on the 7th of June. And, and I'll reiterate this later towards the end, but all access to all of these venues that we'll share again, Hawai'i Convention Center, Bishop Museum, to go specifically and engage with the carvers and the tattoo artists are all free. There should be no charge. Nobody should be charging you to access the Hawai'i Convention Center, Bishop Museum specifically for the carvers and the tattoo artists, and the other venues there's maybe a couple of venues where you have to pay for admission, but for the rest, most and the majority of the venues that we'll share are free to the public to attend, as the festival historically has been a public festival and has not charged admission to access to the festival village and to these other engagements that are happening. So at the same time, the 7th of June, there'll also be the Kamehameha Lei draping, as Kamehameha Day is that week. And so that'll be happening at the same time. So I guess another thing to keep in mind is just with all these events happening, there'll be, I think, a lot of people moving, and traffic is also a concern. So it's really just, if you're able to go to our website, which I'll share at the end of the slideshow, is to really look at maybe some of the things you want to see. And again, on the website, there's a little bit more in detail about scheduling, what's going on at the Festival Village stage at Convention Center, to see what's going on per hour. So if you want to try to catch something, you can plan your day around the different things that are happening at the Festival Village, happening at Bishop Museum, other performances happening around, whether in Waikiki or in town. And then if the lei draping for Kamehameha Day is also happening, which also can be a big traffic issue. So these are just ways we hope to help people strategize how they want to engage, not just Friday the 7th, but the rest of the festival. Another important day is June 9th, Sunday, which is for a lot of us in the Pacific. We know that's usually day of rest, and no major engagements usually are happening. So that day is our official ecumenical service, where all the delegations will be gathering at, from my understanding, that will be happening at Kawaiʻau Church, where all the delegations will come to church, will be together, and our communities are also welcome to that. And you'll be hearing beautiful choral performances from different choirs across the Pacific. Very much looking forward to that. And so again, so the ecumenical service will be happening. There'll be the delegates will have after the ecumenical service is through, and again, from that can last for some time. On the website, there's a little bit more detail on the time frame with that. I can't even see it on that little screen. I apologize. There'll be a traditional leaders summit happening after the ecumenical service. At the same time, there'll be like a special, what would you call it? I don't want to say luau, but a lunch event for our delegates specifically happening at Bishop Museum. So that's for delegates specific for them. It gives them an opportunity to engage with each other in a space where they can share, perform, eat, be comfortable together as we begin the official week on the 10th of June, which is Monday. So again, from Monday the 10th, leading all the way to the 15th of June, which is Saturday, you'll have your festival programming happening again all day, beginning from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., at least for the Festival Village at Hawai'i Convention Center. That's the times that it'll be open. For the rest of the venues, they have different time frames on the website in detail. The 16th of June is our official closing. That'll also be back. That'll be back at the Stan Sheriff Center at UH Manoa. Well, they'll have the official closing ceremony there, and there'll be more details on our website. So this is an older slide, but again, just to give you an overview, like every day from the 7th to the 15th, with those specific dates and other dates in mind that nothing is happening, there'll be things happening across the island of Oahu, and some engagements happening on the other islands, but that is not public yet, as we're still working out some of the details. Okay, next slide. Thank you. So again, here's the different venues. Again, it's so small, I apologize. Our website, you can see it much larger than this, but there'll be performing arts happening at these different venues, performances, for the most part, performances, whether it's music, whether it's dance, or a combination of both. So we have Hawai'i Convention Center, which is where the main festival village is, on the first level. Unfortunately, the only thing you have to pay for, now that I think about it, is parking, but access to the festival village on the first floor, on the first level of the Hawai'i Convention Center, is free. So you should not be paying for access to the festival village, to Royal Hawaiian Center, where there'll be performances on the stage there. Palama Settlement also, the barn at Salt Lake Kaka'ako. Those are special events that are happening specifically at those events. Those are not, the Kaka'ako is not every day, but there are certain specific events which will be listed on our website. There'll be performances happening also at UH West Oahu, Windward Mall, UH Manoa, Kuhio Beach Hula Mound, and the Polynesian Culture Center. So Polynesian Culture Center is one of those unique venues where it is a ticketed entrance for that, because as delegations will be engaging with some of our Pacific Islander brothers and sisters out at PCC. So I guess you would say like a side event, but if you're at PCC one of those days, just because you want to be there, you will possibly be able to catch some of our engagements with the FestPAC happening at PCC. There's also going to be live music. So we have contemporary and we have traditional music presentations also as part of FestPAC. And these are the different venues that they'll be showcasing some of those demonstrations, whether it's traditional and or contemporary. Royal Hawaiian Center, Palama Settlement, Waikiki Beach Walk, Outrigger Reef, Duke's Waikiki. I think we're still working on that one. And yeah, there's just so many opportunities there. And again, access to all those venues should be free if you're going for festival proper official engagements. So we have theater, which is what we talked about before. There'll be live theater, plays, demonstrations happening at Hawai'i Convention Center, oratorical arts, also kind of in conjunction with theater, choral performances. That it may not be at Hawai'i Convention Center. I think we're still working on updating that. It may be a combination of Kawaiʻau Church, Convention Center, and possibly another venue. Our website will have the most updated information. So heritage arts, so the Va'a canoe, the Va'a programming, that is all happening at Kualoa Regional Park out on the North Shore side. So for anyone interested in navigation, anything to do with Va'a, that is actually one of the other venues. They'll be stationed specifically at Kualoa Regional Park. Carving, and again, the carving and the tattooing programming will be happening at Bishop Museum. The so here's all the other arts that are happening at Convention Center. So fashion, literature, film, storytelling, the culinary arts. That's all going to be happening at Festival Village proper at the Convention Center, as well as our visual arts. Some of the visual arts, most of it will be happening at the Convention Center. We are very grateful to Capital Modern, which was the Hawaii State Art Museum, previous name, and East West Center for partnering with us on sharing different arts from the Pacific in different ways at those galleries as well, alongside Hawaii Convention Center. And then we have, again, the different ceremonies and protocol scheduled as before, as I mentioned in the previous slide, happening, the opening ceremony, ecumenical service, and the closing ceremony specifically there. And then the strategic programs in yellow, those are those programs that are happening alongside of FestPAC. So, okay, next slide, please. So this is the count we have currently with the delegations that are visiting, that are coming over from the Pacific and beyond to engage in FestPAC. It's a lot of people, on the ground all at once. So we're really excited to welcome everyone and to try our best to give our visitors, our brothers and sisters and cousins and family from across the Pacific a big welcome and a hopefully an engaging and positive experience and stay while they're here for FestPAC in particular. So these are just the numbers, some of the numbers that we have as of now, where they're actively changing each day. It just depends on, with some of the red tape we've come across or some of the travel documents or challenges for our delegation. So this could change, but as of now, this is what we have on our books as far as delegates that are coming for FestPAC specifically. So you'll see that we have a lot of our, we have a big amount of friends and family coming from across the Pacific that we'll be engaging in. And we look forward to our community members to come and listen, learn, and engage as well. Thank you. Next slide, please. Okay, so I guess as I shared in particular the previous slides, these are the programmings happening at the Convention Center, Festival Village, Expo Marketplace, the different artistic programs, as well as strategic programs. So this is a little bit more laid out laid out for you there. And our website again has these programming scheduled with detail in what's happening hour by hour. Again, that's all subject to change as we get closer. So please, but just if you want to just get an idea, our website has a little of this more in detail as far as time, locations in the convention center. Next slide, please. And then again, as we shared before, Bishop Museum is where we're going to be housing our carvers and the tattoo artists. We have the Aha'aina, which is that luau lunch event for our delegations on the 9th of June. Also, the Heritage Artist Exchange. This is particularly on the alongside the programming as well, where there'll be specific artists engaging with Bishop Museum through access to private collections hosted by Bishop Museum. And then the performance stage that's also something we are still working actively on as we get closer to festival, but please, it is subject to change, but for sure you will find your carvers and tattoo artists there, and there should be no fee to access the tattooists and the carvers while they're there. Next slide, please. Capital Modern, which was previously the Hawaii State Art Museum, will be housing the FestPAC 50th anniversary exhibit. So if you want to learn more about the history of FestPAC and some incredible footage and pictures and videos from throughout the last 50 years of FestPAC across the Pacific, this is a great opportunity to go and engage and learn. It is also, again, there should be no charge to access the exhibits. So we encourage and invite our community members to come and learn about FestPAC's history, rich and beautiful history at Capital Modern, which will also be housed another specific exhibit created specifically for this specific FestPAC, which is our Sea of Islands exhibit. We have contemporary pieces where we have also engaged a lot of diaspora Pacific Islander artists So here's an opportunity for our diaspora to be to have gotten involved in FestPAC in this way in this art exhibit here. So we're very grateful to Capital Modern for housing that exhibit as well. So a lot of visual opportunities and arts opportunities to engage. And I know there are some artists that are going to be present that are being featured in the RC of Islands exhibit that will also be at Capital Modern on specific days. That we may have that information on our website. There are specific events happening around these exhibits in particular, as far as openings and maybe some talk story sessions. So I think maybe, unfortunately, I don't have that off the top of my head on those dates. It should be listed. It may be listed on our website. If not, it'll be soon listed on our website if you'd like to attend that. And there's different, other things happening, delegation collaboratives. Delegates are welcome to come and also engage in the exhibit. So you'll probably, if you do get a chance to go down there, you may see some of our delegates down there also engaging in the art pieces. University of Hawaii is another venue. So this is where all of our delegates are staying specifically. Our opening and closing ceremony is also happening at University of Hawaii at the Stan Sheriff Center, as well as at Ecumenical Service. So yeah, it's just really all more in detail. Next slide, please. Again, these are the different performance venues, as I shared before. We may have removed maybe one or two of these, but you'll see the updated, the most up-to-date information on our website. Next slide, please. So this is that program that I shared about earlier that's happening alongside official festival programming, is the emerging leaders engagement. Where our youth, our young leaders will have the opportunity to engage in cultural practice, diplomacy, and creative industries. They're going to be attending in-person engagement specific for their program. And this was a partnership which we mahalo to SPC Youth and SPTO Youth. So mahalo to those programs for partnering with us, as well as I believe YPL in New Zealand. So thank you, mahalo so much to them for that. Next slide, please. Another programming that's happening alongside festival programming is the Traditional Leaders Summit. So what we're hoping is to have traditional leaders from across the Pacific engage in this particular engagement that we hope to continue after this specific FestPAC and FestPACs moving forward. So let me see here. Yes, so I'm just going to answer the question that I saw come up. Parking at the convention center. No, unfortunately, I do apologize. The parking, to my knowledge, you'd still have to pay for. But access to the convention center is free. So, if parking is an issue as far as fee, and you still want to drive, there are parkings across on the street. There is street parking. Ala Moana Shopping Center is not too far, but it is free parking for a lot of those who don't want to, or if parking fee is an issue. We welcome, there will be public transportation, but as far as my understanding, parking at Convention Center will still have to be paid for, unfortunately. And if there's any update on that, I will let Shanti know in advance before FestPAC, and that way we can share that out to everyone as soon as possible. And also we can, if there is an update on that, we can share on the website as well. Yeah, so I apologize, but as of now, parking would still have to be paid for. And to my knowledge, it's $15 a day. So that is, that's kind of a bigger fee. But if there's any updates on that, I will share that. Again, so the Traditional Leaders Summit will be happening alongside official festival planning. So this is a separate engagement for our traditional leaders coming from across the Pacific who will engage in this particular programming that hopes to continue after FestPAC at the next FestPACs and throughout the next 4 years. So it's really a convening of King Kalakaua dream to bring the Pacific together. And so, this is just something that's happening alongside. We hope to share out more in advance. So next slide, please. Okay, so here's one of the bigger community asks. So we're hoping to get more volunteers from the larger Pacific Islander community here in Hawaii, only because I think for a lot of us as Pacific Islanders, we know and understand the culture protocols and nuances of our Pacific uh, cultures. So I think when you have more volunteers who look like the delegations that are coming, who understand the cultural nuances, it's so much easier to engage our delegations and to have them feel like for them that this is familiar, this is home as much as possible. So at the end, we'll share how to register as a volunteer if you're interested, and also about general attendance registration. So some of the committee asks is some of our committee members that are coming, some of our delegations that are coming from across the Pacific will be their first time here to Hawaii. And so with that, we're really looking to have community as much as possible. If they're not already engaged with delegations, is to kind of share maybe some of the safety and local regulation laws, only because it's such a different space for FestPAC to be happening versus out in the Pacific. There's a little bit more of a lax and freedom as far as where people can gather, where people can stay. Here we know Hawaii is so much more restricted when it comes to gathering spaces overnight, gathering spaces and in numbers sometimes. And so what we want to make sure is that our cousins, our family from across the Pacific are safe, feel safe while they're here. And some of it really is like some community members that I've worked with are working to ensure that they help share and remind their communities if they're engaging with delegations already via online, whether it's email or phone, that they're sharing these concerns, they're sharing some alternatives to where they can gather or where they can stay. And that comes to some of the concerns that we're facing at this time is although the festival is from the 6th to the 16th, some of our delegations are coming earlier because of just the challenge of flights and methods to get to Honolulu. So there are some delegates that are coming earlier and some leaving after the 16th. And our housing situation, unfortunately, at UH Manoa only is open from the 6th to the 16th for our delegations. So some delegations may need additional housing for that time being pre and post festival. So I and my team are collectively trying to brainstorm together how we can house some of those delegations, where we can house them. So if anyone has any ideas or any suggestions or in any ways they'd like to help us, we are very much welcome to share. Shanti, there'll be my contact information there from Shanti to contact me at any time. And that's also like sharing, if you want to share, we have some delegations that are coming and some community members that have already shared they're going to be dropping off water, food to the dorms. And this is not a requirement. It's just if you'd like to, of course, we welcome that. And our delegations will appreciate that very much. Next slide, sorry. I believe that might be it. Okay, so this is our social media and our website address there. And so attendance, yes. So again, for anyone that's interested, you as a general member of the public that'd like to attend. So if you go to our website, Summer, do you mind sharing the website? I'm so sorry. Just because I want to show people how to register at the website, because it can be kind of confusing when you go to our website in general. So you're going to go to festpachawaii.org, and there you'll see, thank you. And there you'll see how to register in the corner. So we're asking all members, even if you're just coming to attend, you're not volunteering or you're not part of the delegation thing is a whole other thing that you don't have to worry about. But we're asking everyone to register in advance just because we want to make sure everyone We want to track where everyone is at different parts of the festival. That's also part of our reporting that we'd have to share out after the festival is over. So once you visit our website, you hit the registration. This is what you're going to come across, this slide here, this screen here. And at the top, there's become a volunteer if you're interested. But if you're just interested in attending, then you'll just be registering for this event to attend as a general public member. You're going to need to register in order, so you won't have to pay to access the festival village or anything, but you'll have to register because they'll have people at the front scanning registration. So that's the only other thing. You don't have to pay to attend or to gain access, but to get in, you have to register just because we want to make sure we can track everyone.
So
I
Tolua,
apologize for going over time.
So Tolua, for the event, let's say someone didn't hear this message and showed up at the convention center. They can do it while at the front to register for
Yes,
the event before they enter. And that's
correct.
applicable to anywhere for a
Correct.
venue that requires. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yes, you can
Yeah.
do it. You know, if you're right outside the doors and you're like, oh shoot, I forgot to register. I'm hoping we have QR codes for people so they can just scan it or just go right online and register. Unfortunately, it's all online registration. We don't have any like physical paper registrations. It just helps us to track in real time. So that is the best way. Yes, but if you want to avoid all that, you want to come and be able to scan and get right in. We encourage people to register early as much as possible. For those who do know about it, and if for those who are attending and know about this, if you don't mind sharing it out to our friends and family across the state and anyone visiting for FestPAC in particular.
Well, thank you so much, Tolua, and thank you to Gravitas for allowing you to join us. We do know that we are counting down the days, so you probably have a lot to do, but we really appreciate you being here and sharing all this information. We, on behalf of the Office of Economic Revitalization, we want to thank you and also good luck. We are excited to come and check out what's available. To those who are watching, our viewers, thank you so much for continuing to follow us and learn information on our Facebook page and our Pacific Talk Stories. We do want to invite you to like our page on Facebook or Instagram. And then if you have any questions or want to inquire about topics or potential topics, you can definitely email me at Shanty, SHANTY.Asher, ASHER, at honolulu.gov. We will definitely be putting you on the mailing list for future webinars as well. So with that said, we want to say mahalo to our guest, our sister from Samoa that's here, and also to everyone that's watching. So go ahead and register, and we'll see you at FestPAC. Mahalo.
Thank you so much. Mahalo.
Yeah. Bye.